It's okay. Off your mic, it's okay. Off your mic,
Chai! Now wow, people wey suppose talk truth to power don't off mic. And if we talk, now 500,000 they go summer us, call them hate speech. But fear not, Maiyegun don't come. Him go torchlight every corner, nooks and cranny of all these bad people where they spoil our country. So my people make we loud, oh, yo, yo. Maiyegun don't come, oh, yo, yo. My people make we shout, oh, yo, yo. Maiyegun don't come, oh, yo, yo. Maiyegun don't come, man of the masses, oh, yo, yo. Maiyegun don't come, oh, yo, yo. Maiyegun Diary Politico, yo, yo. Maiyegun don't come, oh, yo, yo. This one not the off in mind, oh, yo, yo. Maiyegun don't come, oh, yo, yo. And in the touchlight every corner, oh, yo, yo. Maiyegun don't come, oh, yo, yo. Okay, some people be they holla say they want the power. Chai, them be promise us say we go get light and power. Nah. Them hustle sote they can't get the power. But now they know they do anything with the power. Sure. Every day, dollar just they get the higher power over naira. See them talk say make we off mind, but thank God say Maiyegun don't come. So my people make you loud, oh, yo, yo. Maiyegun don't come, oh, yo, yo. My people make we shout, oh, yo, yo. Maiyegun don't come, oh, yo, yo. Maiyegun don't come, man of the masses, oh, yo, yo. Maiyegun don't come, oh, yo, yo. Maiyegun Diary Politico, oh, yo, yo. Maiyegun don't come, oh, yo, yo. This one not the off in mind, oh, yo, yo. Maiyegun don't come, oh, yo, yo. Person where they do evil, no one make person talk. Them say that Maiyegun, that man too they talk. He too they talk. Say Maiyegun Diary, he they hot like pepper. But every day, then they take money in bulk. Woman picking, they the street they hawk. Still them talk say, make we no talk. But thank God say, Maiyegun don't come. So my people make you loud, oh, yo, yo. Maiyegun don't come, oh, yo, yo. My people make you shout, oh, yo, yo. Maiyegun don't come, oh, yo, yo. Maiyegun don't come, man of the masses, oh, yo, yo. Maiyegun don't come, oh.
Hello there.
Maiyegun làwa mọ̀ làmọ̀ tó dòdòdò. Maiyegun Diary.
Good morning to you, good afternoon to you, and good evening to you from wherever you are watching from. This is Maiyegun live.
Maiyegun ti dé o, ọ̀rẹ́ ara yìí. Maiyegun Diary. Lórí Facebook, lórí YouTube. Maiyegun Diary. Gbogbo bó ṣe ń lọ ni Maiyegun já wa sí. Maiyegun Diary. Àṣírí ọ̀jẹ̀lú kì í bò níbẹ̀ o.
Thank you so much for joining me, and sorry for us starting late. However, as you are joining, share the broadcast, okay? Invite your friends, invite your not so friendly friends. They might, learn one or two things tonight. Share the broadcast.
Maiyegun Diary Politico. Maiyegun Diary Godfatherism. Kò sí lọ́rọ̀ Maiyegun Diary. Ẹ farabalẹ̀ sẹ́wọ̀n.
APC youth protested again in Abuja. This time around, they vowed to do everything to defend the mandates, they call it. And they want everybody to stop whinging, to stop complaining, to stop lamenting, to stop wailing. According to them, only death can stop Thiefnubu from being sworn in. I think it's a showdown time.
Lórí YouTube, Maiyegun ti dé. And yes, we like Maiyegun ti dé. Bàbá gbé wúrẹ́. And yes,
I have told you a lot about the propagandas going on and going round. There is a latest one where an Igbo leader made a statement, and a part of that statement is cropped out to serve the ongoing tribal ethnic propaganda of APC Egbekegbe to further divide Nigeria. However, they wanted to prove a point that Yorubas and Igbos, we are enemies, and in fact, we can never do anything together as Nigeria comes. You know what I mean? So that propaganda will be sort of demystified tonight if you have the time. Also, why are they so riled up? Why are they not celebrating openly? Why is it that even Nigerians have no idea where their supposed president-elect is right now? Not just that. No one has a clue of the transition, so to say. You know why? The mood of the country. According to them, a lot is going on behind the scene to nullify the election, to cancel it completely, and disqualify Thiefnubu, even get him arrested. All of this hope and all this behind the scene, according to APC themselves, are going to remain dreams. But if they are going to remain just dreams or just mere wishes, why are they riled up? Why are they restless? And why are they yet to cease fire on their ethnic, tribal, divisive propaganda that is never going to keep Nigeria one? And that is, for those who know how it all started, in 2014, 2015, APC, Egbekegbe, brought for the first time in a long time the ethnic divisive politics that currently pervade their own government, kept Nigerians and Nigeria divided, and they kept pointing fingers, accusing people of what they are doing. So here we go again. They are not relenting, they are not stopping, they are not ceasing the fire. So, ladies and gentlemen, I will do my best just to explain to you the ongoing Cold War in Nigeria and the parts that APC, Egbekegbe, is playing, including you. Their propaganda has been working on very well. But just before we go fully into it, for those who know how their propaganda works in Nigeria, no matter what side or which side you belong to, no matter which one of them you have held on to so religiously, nobody can change your mind. I am not here to change your mind about whatever prejudices you have against one another. I am just here to tell you that if you think deeper, you will realize that all these prejudices, Igbo versus Yoruba, Hausa versus Fulani, Ijo versus Ishekiri, Ibibio versus this, Idoma versus Tifi, and on like that. If you take a look at their ground causes, you will see the hand of your either past or present political criminals from all of our own different ethnic nationalities in Nigeria. But you know something? As much as a lot of us have taken sides, depends on what you believe, there is something that a lot of you possibly denies, and that is they win, we lose. Whether it is religion you want to cling on to, in fact, kill people for, in the Nigeria political space, it is not to benefit you, but to benefit the criminals, who are going to latch on that division all the time. You are just pawn. If it is ethnic, tribal, that the card they are playing. And you choose your side based on your tribal association. You don't want to be a bastard to your own ethnic nationality. How dare somebody say that about about Yorubas? How dare you say that about the Igbos? I mean, you Yoruba that are stinking this, you Igbos that are this or that. You see, despite all that prejudices, listen to me. You all exist in that same fragmented, misrule, divided, impoverished, terrorized, and corrupted Nigeria. Therefore, despite all your prejudices, I can't open my, I can't just sit down and look away when these people are insulting Yorubas. They are insulting Thiefnubu, and that automatically means they are insulting Yorubas. That is your prejudice, Abi? Great. I know that you all hate the Igbos so much. And that because of that, I cannot sit back and look at you, be abusing and attacking Igbos and all of that. Great. That's your prejudice. Guess what? A lot of people who believe in their different prejudices, rightly or wrong, in that same Nigeria, you all exist, suffer the consequences of a mismanaged country. And guess who are those? The actors who mismanaged the country. You will see Yorubas, you will see Hausas, you will see Fulanis, you will see Igbos, you will see Ijaws, you will see everybody from your own different, playing their own either big or small role in dishing out the shege that Nigeria truly represents. And guess what? They are united in dealing with all of us. We are divided in suffering the consequences of their own crime. But the moment you drop religion into it, you drop tribe into it, everybody takes side, existing in the same ruined, destroyed economy. Now, it is difficult to convince you otherwise. I am not here to convince you otherwise. I am just here to show to you how political propagandas work and to whose advantage. To you, tell me yours or theirs. From time immemorial, whether you are on their side or not, from time immemorial, it has always been the criminals in power or in government in Nigeria who will do anything and everything. They will say anything and everything just to get that power. And once they have it, you are on your own until the next time. So how do you then invest so much hate, so much vile, so much sort of intolerance, so much bloodshot vengeance against one another because you believe doing so somehow could be your own way of redeeming I don't know, your nationality or something in a Nigeria that everybody keeps screaming one Nigeria, because it's never won. Self-preservation is another fancy word people use when they want to hide behind tribal, ethnic bigotry, religious and otherwise fanaticism. Self-preservation. If you don't fight now, they are coming to take over our place. They are coming to take over your days. They are going to run you out of town. You need to be worried and all of that. And guess those who are telling us to be worried? They are the people who deliberately impoverished us, oppressed us, miseducated us, ensure that our social, our self-esteem that should help our social status as a people have been so diminished and destroyed that we only exist for existing's sake. The same people turned around and said, listen, we have been protecting you all this while. We are poor. We are disenfranchised. Opportunities have been taken away from us. But whenever it is time to rile us up, all of us, to defend something like their feeding bottle, help them keep their feeding bottle, they will remember that self-preservation is the reason why you have to stand up in a supposed one country that people kind of deal with themselves as if to say they are actually like generational enemies. Now, I am not trying to speak in parables here. I am trying to bring your consciousness to something. And that is, you could have been an enabler to whatever is happening in Nigeria. Consequently, as well, you and the victims who have been the victims of all of that, and how through all this endless propaganda, the Igbos ate Yoruba, the Yorubas ate Igbos, the Hausas ate Igbos, the Fulanis ate Igbos, and this one ate that. But when you see all these guys together, you will see Fulani, you will see Hausa, you will see Yoruba, you will see Christian, you will see Muslims, all of them hobnobbing, clicking glasses, laughing together, sharing our own commonwealth. They never kind of hold daggers after themselves. No. So I am not here to convince you to change your mind. I am just here to show you how you probably have been an enabler too. And as for Thiefnubu and their own kind of politics in Yoruba land, let me tell you something. In America, they have this bragging stuff, yeah? In the UK, they have this bragging stuff. They will look at generation to generation, and every generation, they are offered their own opportunities of prosperity. Okay? First, every generation in this part of the world, they are trained and educated and prepared for what the challenges will be when they will be of age. And that includes the type of education they give to them, the kind of resources they give to them, the type of support they give to them. And every 10 years, if not every year, you get to see the generation of prosperous young people that will then maintain that prosperity. They will maintain it for generations, and every generation of theirs until this internet age that is now churning out different set of prosperity among young people around the world. In Nigeria, in Yoruba land, as Nigeria currently acts as the poverty capital of the world, this is the combination of the people living in Nigeria and what they have done to them in the last 10 years. Our own young people are being denied opportunity. They are being offered adulterated education. A lot of them are being given miseducation, and the chunk of them as well don't even have access to that education at all. While their counterparts around the world are exploring opportunities for their generation, something that can be symbolic with their generation. Back in Nigeria, in Yoruba land, where an educated and miseducated young Yoruba is more concerned about somebody coming to take over his fatherland when nobody is actually coming to do that, right? He's been conscripted. He's been sort of conditioned under the limited opportunity whereby he can't really match up, no chance, match up with his counterparts in the rest of the world, thereby subjecting them to scourging and then, begging for an opportunity that could make them a little bit better than their peers, but still under the radar and control of the people that kept them poor. Okay, if that is also sounding like a parable, let me bring it back again. In Nigeria, they will tell you to go to school. If you ever have to survive the truncated education calendar, if you have to survive that, then you have to come out and then join the labor market. Now that has no job at all. Then you get you have millions of them, right? Who were told to get education. They got it. In the process, their self-esteem are in a way, and even their mental health are in a way being messed up until they now face the reality that the country actually have nothing for them, right? The opportunity to create jobs by them is also not there. There is no real support, nothing. They are going to be on their own. So the opportunity they will have to wait for is when they can be favored. And that is why religion in Nigeria is something else, okay? When people are in a way conditioned or limited by the criminals who know no tribe, no ethnic, no religion, but they love to play the cards in order to keep you divided and poor in this regard, then you resort into miracle. Who can do something miraculously, sharp, to change your life when the opportunities are not there? And then you keep on going and going and going until you hit the bottom of the rock. That is Nigeria. Now we are left at the mercy of our oppressors. We are left at the dictate of their own evil wishes. Their propaganda to make us continue to hate ourselves in that poverty and that oppression is the only active tool. And that is why today, when you look at the level of what they call the wokeness, and why some of the propaganda are not really working much on this generation of Nigerians to start with, is simply because now a lot of them can see their counterparts around the world excelling, doing simple things in a great way. They are asking questions. How come they can't have all of that? Why can't they also have good lives? Why can't they have this? Why can't they have that? Why is the opportunity so rare? Something that usually their own old peers, the generations before them, were told to pray. Go and pray for it. You want good life. You want a responsible government. You want a united country. You want a prosperous country. Just pray. Pray for it. Sure you get. Now, the generation that came are now like, is the internet age. They are now questioning everything they've been told. Everything. And that is why we are now having problems. Because the same pattern that enslaved those before us, where bigotry, tribal bigotry, religious intolerance, and so many other vices, which have been the bane of Nigeria for so long. Now, it is now the clash of generations. That's why some people are wondering, how dare you, as a Yoruba boy or girl, publicly criticizing Thiefnubu? Like, what kind of generation are you? Are you not supposed to be a Yoruba? They are wondering. And somehow at the same time, they have no idea how to handle this. So today, when you publicize propaganda, lies on ethnic, tribal, religious sentiments, they no longer carries the weight they used to anymore. And that is why the last two that they kind of always wield at the last minute, the use of force, is also being challenged. And today, ladies and gentlemen, if you are asking why they won an election or they were declared winner, but they can't really celebrate. Why are they worried? Shouldn't the old order feel good? That when people said they don't want to be part of Nigeria anymore, you waged war on them. When the young people said they are tired of how they are being ruled and oppressed, you also waged war on them. And when they decided to fight back through your own set up electoral process, you rigged them out. You told them to go to court. As divided as Nigeria is, when an election happens, the most sing-song of politicians is always, election is over. Let us come together and united and move on. But when APC, Egbekegbe, came in, they said, we are people who will never forget how you treated us, how you spoke to us, how you disrespected us, how you criticized us when we were seeking the power. We won't forget. And that's exactly what Bokwari represented for 7.5 years. For 7.5 years. APC couldn't unite Nigeria. Do you know why? You can win an election or rig an election by using propaganda, lies, half-truth, and so on. But it will be so hard to rule that same country with propaganda, lies, half-truth, and all other divisive rhetorics under APC, Egbekegbe, after the 2014-2015 elections. The first international trip that Bokwari went to Washington, D.C. in America, remember? They asked him, you just had the worst and the most divisive election. Nigeria seems to be more divided like never before. What's your plan? Especially the areas that are more agitated and handling for supposed problems and trouble. Now that you, Bokwari, is president. And his response then was, in all honesty, confessing at the international stage, is that I cannot pretend there will never be any united Nigeria. In other words, 97% of people that voted for me, according to him, should not be expected to be treated same way as the 5% that didn't vote for me. The Buharidins, the Buharididerins, the Buhari Dinotus, the Buhari Dijatus, the Buhari Shukus, the Ungoziaris, the Unekaaris, the sophisticated morons, on-boot slaves, and the rest of them. They went into town and they said he was right. Guess those who were the 5%? They were the Igbos, according to Bokwari, a supposed newly elected president of Nigeria. He said that in America, and that's exactly what he did for 7.5 years. The rhetorics was that the Igbos deserved what they got under APC. Egbekegbe. But when APC, Egbekegbe of Thiefnubu, came with their own agenda that they called swagger at first. Swagger was Southwest agenda. Whatever. They told them, don't use that. it's simply going to look like Yoruba agenda. There are Yorubas that are obviously never going to follow this your nonsense. Okay, let's change it. So they went back and they changed it to renewed hope after the shattered one. But there is no renewed truth, vigor, approach, and something that you can say for people who see themselves as ruling over a country that they expected to be united, peaceful, and progressive. So they didn't renew any hope. They renewed the propaganda. And then they went all hog to pit the Muslim versus Christians. Then they turned around and they pointed fingers at others and said, oh, he did it. He's doing it. Anyway, we can all see how divided Nigeria is now, if you don't want to deny. It's got to a boiling point. APC divisive messages even got to a stage where people were mobilized against other ethnic nationalities in Lagos. So if they tell you, election is over, let us move on, by the same people who are still pushing their propaganda, the propaganda of Igbo this, Yoruba that, you should be alert, and if possible, kill them. If you have a chance, they are your enemy, and all those rhetorics. How do you tell these people to move on simply because they are Igbos and they happen to be in Lagos? And some people felt like it is an insult for an Igbo man to even contest an election with a Yoruba man. And therefore, for the Igbos in Yoruba land to have the audacity, no, not in Yoruba, in Lagos, to have the audacity of publicly saying they will not vote for Thiefnubu. Politics, politics did this.
Everything is quiet. I was here 4 o'clock early in the morning. This is the stuff that my brother is using to pay my school fees. And then they just came from nowhere and bought everywhere. You see, they say we want one Nigeria. They say we want one Nigeria. Look at me. I'm looking so tired.
The firefighters have done the bits. The firefighters have done the little bits they can do. Okay?
Daylight reveals the extent of damage done even before firefighters and other emergency respondents arrived. Goods turned into heaps of debris. Shocked shop owners watch helplessly, a situation already late to salvage any valuable item.
Everywhere burnt down, totally. That's when fire service they came to our aid. Nothing is remaining. Look at people's markets, look at them. Nothing is remaining here, everything is burnt down. So what do they want us to feed on? Where do we start from? The government should do something about this. It's not good. They have rendered so many people useless here. So many people, nothing came out from their shop. Even one seed, one thing did not come out. It's very, very painful. It's very, very painful.
I own 3 shops here. They render their family useless, not me.
3 shops.
3 shops. All this thing you see is my goods. So, this way we find ourselves.
3 shops.
3 shops. 1, 3.
Okay, these 3 shops. 1, 2, and 3.
3, yeah. And they decided they would my labor for over 20 years. They want to end it in one day. When they put Accra on fire, they stand there wait on.
Now that happened, and it happened not because Yorubas hate Igbos or Igbos did anything to Yorubas, like they have any clash. There wasn't any clash. There wasn't any problem. Just politics. Okay? Now, politics that destroy lives and properties, you can't call that progressive, can you? And in a country whereby the perpetrators, the criminals who did this, because of their affiliation to the government in power, they will never be caught or tried. Rather, they will be used for something even worse than that in the future. So, if normally, as they say, eye for an eye, tooth for the tooth, that the Yorubas, who are also living outside Yoruba land, for some reason, they started getting attacked too. And then it becomes an endless circle. Sure you get. But the propaganda and the lies that prompted that attack and other followed up attacks where people got killed. I'll show you something. First you have the image, right? A young man. This young man happened to be one of the unfortunate ones. Peter. Peter, which hailed from Ohafia local government area in Abia State, was attacked and killed post-election in Lagos. You know what happened? His only crime is that he is Igbo. This is a day after the election. Not that he was caught, it was at the election zone to vote for anybody or anything. Right? APC propaganda, the vengeful Lagos APC propaganda, which is just to kind of create that impression that the Yorubas are vile people. The Yorubas are hateful people. The Yorubas are intolerant. They don't tolerate any other people or anything. So this young man was attacked a day after election by the Lagos thugs, the Lagos Rascals. And his death is among many other deaths. And the only offense is because they are Igbos. This orchestrated attack and profiling didn't start today, but it is taking a new dimension. None of this is going to ensure peace. Even when politicians say, let's have peace, we need peace, let's come together and build peace. You don't build peace on the blood of innocent victims that are seeking justice. In an unjust society, you don't just ask for peace. Sure you get. Now, properties destroyed, lives lost, and we need to move on. Some have told me that I, Maiyegun, I am more of a problem of Nigeria than these local terrorists who have the capacity to take lives, who have the capacity to burn down properties because some people told them it is the right thing to do. But you know, when somebody like me talks about the injustice in between, just injustice too many, until you become a victim, like I told you before and I've said it many times, we are all victims waiting to happen. You see, those who were survivors of yesterday, they are the victims of Nigeria today. Those of us who are going to be survivors of today, we are the potential victims of Nigeria tomorrow. And as day comes and go, so are the opportunities for us, right, to fight for the last time. Every day is like a chance to fight for the last time until you become a victim too. It doesn't even matter whether you even understand their politics, whether you even participate in, whether you even believe in any of them, just living your life alone, your life can be snuffed out of you simply because of where you come from. Now, you can't claim a united country that way and then talking about it, pointing out the injustice that has created this unity. That automatically puts me on the red list, Maiyegun, for trying to remind you that you can't have peace without justice. You can't tell people to move on. Why the people who committed crimes are being rewarded right before their very eyes. You can't have unity like that, not even in a poor country where the poverty is also deliberate, right? So they killed that young man. The others got their hands broken, amputated, legs broken, amputated, and on, counting their losses. But you see, the APC, Ebekebe, that orchestrated this propaganda of hate, they are struggling every day to convince Yorubas. Now, listen to this. Let me tell you something. We have a fraction of Yorubas whose interest is because of what they are benefiting or they stand to benefit politically from Thiefnubu's APC criminal gang. Around us, we are still wallowing in poverty. Our people are still being impoverished every day. Our young people are still being denied job opportunities because there is none. Economically, our own people are being economically disadvantaged still. We are still the same people being terrorized by the Fulani terrorists, including the local terrorists funded by these criminal politicians. We are still the same people in that contraption too. However, the people that are struggling to attach Yoruba, with everything Thiefnubu, with everything is political thugs and the rest of them, including those hungry, starving, crumb eaters, crumb chasers, ass lickers, crumb eaters, and all of that. They are still very much never representing the Yorubas. Do you know how you will know? According to them, Yorubas are so tolerant. We are so welcoming. And by virtue of circumstance, we became the center, not by virtue of circumstance, okay? It is by virtue of a political orchestration, the Yoruba land became the beneficiary of what should be the economic capital of Nigeria. You get what I mean? By virtue of that. But do you know something? These guys were in their circle and recycling the poverty as well. They are tired of us. They said that we Yorubas, we are too soft. A lot of you are reading all of this online. And even at that, some of you still feel comfortable to put all Yoruba in a single basket because of Thiefnubu and what they are doing. Ignoring the fact that as they are turning on you, they have started turning on us too. They said we are not self-preserving enough. They said we should be self-preserving or something. No, it's not. It's called self-preservation or something. As Yorubas, we need to stand together. Anybody who is trying to come into our midst, we must stop them. So anybody who is trying to come and overrun us, we must stop them. Don't you think that's an idea, a mentality that was deliberately put in your head by your fellow Yoruba slave masters who actually don't wish you well? At first, nobody is coming to take anything from you because everything that should have been yours have been taken by these criminals. You know that? We need to come together. The only way that they can preserve the Yoruba dignity, the Yoruba people's prosperity, is when the political criminals in Yoruba land, starting with Thiefnubu and gang, when they begin to realize that when the wealth of the land, when the people of the land benefit from the wealth of the land and it actually reflects in their lives, that is self-preservation. Okay? When you don't have Chinese and other foreign natural resources thieves who are rummaging entire Yoruba land, excavating our natural resources, taking them away while we live in abject poverty and fear. So if you want to preserve the dignity of the Yorubas, then you should start by defending the right of a single Yoruba. Every Yoruba man or woman, your right is, number one, you have the right to good life. You have the right to good and comfortable life, safe life. Your children have the right to have a prosperous future. This prosperity of Yoruba land that Nigeria is milking and stealing, sharing with those who claim to be representing Yorubas, why the rest of us live in poverty and all that, that is not self-preservation. It is a human shield. They want you to turn to, a walking time bomb who hates everyone because of the kind of life is made to live. Yorubas are living better lives outside Yoruba land, outside Nigeria. Yorubas are breaking even. They are breaking barriers. But back in Yoruba land, you are living by the rules of poverty, limitation, and then slavery. A lot of people enjoy it. A lot of people are comfortable and smiling in their slavery, but that doesn't mean that the entire population actually does. And here I am. If you want to preserve the Yoruba's self-esteem, Yoruba's the dignity and all of that, why don't you do something that actually makes an average Yoruba life better than the life of any other person outside the Yoruba land? Can you do that? No, they can't. Because it's not about Yoruba. It's not about Igbo. It's not about this. It is about power, selfishness, their greed. And the only way to keep them is to tell you they hate you. And in order for them to continue to take advantage of you, all you have to do is to believe them. And if they say you should kill people who want to come and take away something from you when you have nothing, you know you don't have anything. A lot of you don't have anything. You are living in this Nigeria, yeah? That APC, let me give you a flashback. In 2015, the number of crude oil produced by Nigeria daily was put at 1.7, 1.8 8 million barrels a day. When they came in, I mean, in order to balance it up so that I don't keep going back on it, okay? 1.8 million barrels a day. And they complained then that Goodluck Egbiri Jolantan mismanaged the money and they couldn't give account of what they did with that huge money. But do you know that immediately they came in and they quickly do the abracadabra in NNPC, suddenly the number of the amount of lost crude oil to oil thieves in Nigeria jumped from 50,000 a day, 50,000 barrels a day to, wait for it, 700,000 barrels a day. Meaning Nigeria's crude production every day also dropped drastically. At a point, it dropped down to a paltry 700,000, 800,000 barrels a day. Now, for 7 years, oil thieves under APC, they will bring vessels, cargo vessels like that, tank, big tank, and they will spend days on Nigeria water in Niger Delta, pumping Nigeria crude oil from the pipeline that Nigeria laid. And guess what? For 7 years, nobody raised alarm that what they were pumping, or the pressure of the pumping, right, fell, and they are losing 700,000 barrels every day. Nobody reported. You know why? Because there are those behind it, and they were reselling this stolen crude oil to European countries, including China. And they were making the cool money, clean money. Nobody raised any alarm. We were screaming. They said, shut up your mouth. What do you know? You are enemy of Buhari. That happened. And because of that, the Nigeria reliance on this Forex, because when you sell the crude oil, they give you a lot of dollars or what have you, Forex, right? So what happened is that that reduced drastically. They did something else as well. When they came in, a liter of petrol in Nigeria was 87 naira per liter. Nigeria was paying subsidy. Guess how much Nigeria was paying as subsidy as at 2015 for the whole country? Good luck, Egbere Jolantan was paying, as at the time, they were paying about 400 billion naira to subsidize the petrol that everybody uses in Nigeria. But they took the subsidy off the diesel. And between that 2015 and 2023, APC, they said they removed the subsidy 3 times, then denied it 3 times. So they increased the fuel, and today, a liter of petrol in Nigeria is hovering around 160 naira to 500 naira per liter. Now, that's actually not the full story. Now, that's the number, because of the loss of crude oil, everyday crude oil to thieves, and the loss of revenue on crude oil sales, which means they don't have any money at the point, yeah? These same criminals, they increased that subsidy from 400 billion a year to over, wait for it, 1.4 trillion every year. Now, subsidizing petroleum is because Nigeria produces crude oil. And Nigeria is the only country in the whole world that produces crude oil, and they export the crude oil, and they import finished products. APC, Egbekegbe told all of you then that they were going to build you a refinery each every year. They did the cost estimate or whatever it is, it will cost them to build a refinery. And they said, it is possible. So by their own estimates, they said they will build refineries that will be refining at least minimum of 100,000 barrel of crude oil every day. To the point that Nigeria will have so much fuel that they will begin to supply all the West African countries and make more money. Nigeria will stop paying subsidy because there's no point in importing fuel anymore. But do you know what they did? They increased the money on importation of fuel subsidy, increased the pump price of petroleum in Nigeria, and they destroyed the rest of refineries working in Nigeria. They destroyed them for a new, smaller refinery in Niger Republic. So what happened? Whenever Nigeria managed to sell crude oil, the money doesn't come to Nigeria anymore. It just goes straight into the pocket of the oil marketers, who are also the friends selected by the Bukwari's people. The money goes into payment of subsidy. So what was left for Nigeria as revenue is now tax and borrowing. All this happened in 7.5 years. Nigeria Foreign Reserve, which is meant to be a sort of insurance policy for investors who want to go and invest in Nigeria, to get to know how healthy is your economy and how prudent is your own economic advisors, right? Smaller countries all over the world have a foreign reserve that are running into trillions of dollars. Seriously, hundreds of billions of dollars. They put them out there as sort of like collateral or something. Nigeria's foreign reserve, when these criminals came in, was $33 billion. When they wanted to scam all of you, you know what they did? They increased the savings to $42 billion. That's a whooping $9 billion. How did that happen? What happened? Blah, blah, blah. Okay, great. It's because Bokwari is fighting corruption. That was what they said. Fast forward. But meanwhile, there is also an account called the excess crude account in Nigeria. Obasanjo opened that. Right? Long story. I don't want to take you into that. It's just a place to keep some excess money. Right? That they can cause saving for the raining day. Okay, when APC Egbekegbe came in, good luck Egbere Jolantan, that Obasanjo, Obasanjo handed that over to Yaradua, and Yaradua died, handed over to Jonathan. When Obasanjo was giving them, handing over, the balance in that excess crude account at the time was put at somewhere around $22 billion, quite substantial. The foreign reserve was put at somewhere over $44 billion. This was 2007. Now, by 2010, when Jonathan took over, the balance in that excess crude account has already dropped down to 18 billion. That of the foreign reserve already dropped down to 38 billion. So in space of 3 years, Yaradua depleted both accounts by $4 billion, $8 billion. And also increased the debt. But when Jonathan was handing over to Bokwari in 2015, the balance in the excess crude account was 7.5 billion. Yes, you heard me right. 7.5 billion. Because at the time, Adams Oshiomhole, Isaleko Barack Obama, that is Ajangbadi Albert Einstein, Fashola, Ubima Judas Iscariot, Rotifmi, Amechi, they were governors at the time. They took Jonathan to court that he must share that money in that excess crude account. Why are you saving money when people are suffering? They were ACN governors at the time and PDP. Anyway, by the time they handed over to Bokwari in 2015, now only 7.5 billion they inside the account. But the excess crude account, now only 33 billion left. Which means, in a space of 5 years, Goodluck Egbere Jolantan depleted his government and all of them. They depleted the foreign reserve by $5 billion and the excess crude account by nearly $11 billion. So here come the Mr. Prudent. Bokwari, Mr. Corruption Fighter. The APC, Egbekegbe, actually came to legalize corruption, not to fight it. You don't fight what you are. How could corruption fight corruption? It's impossible, right? So what happened? In a space of 4-5 years, the excess crude account depleted down to under $23 billion today, which means $19 billion have been expended from the excess crude account, from the foreign reserve of Nigeria. Bokwari and APC, I hope they will have explanation for you, which further devalued your naira, weaken it, and you know what it is today, Abi? The excess crude account, Bokwari's government added $350 million to it between 2015 and 2016. In a space of 8 months, they added $350 million to the excess crude account. But today, the balance in the excess crude account is not up to $50 million anymore. From $7.85 billion in a space of 7.5 years. Bokwari's government, they have depleted that down to a paltry $50 million. I'm not joking. You can go and read about it. That's how the economy now took a downturn. Naira took a hit and it will never recover. You know why? Why they are depleting all of those that some of you don't know about, or maybe you don't care, or you don't even understand the impact of that on you, on Nigeria, on unemployment, on security, and all those things. You have no idea, Abi. Hang on. I'll keep telling you. When they did all of that, then they went on a borrowing spree. Oh dear. Who can give us money? We need money. We need money. We want to build railway. We want to build roads. Remember that they've already attacked all your savings. They've attacked all your crude oil, source of income. They've attacked that. Now, all that is left is tax. How can we tax people that are not working? How can you tax businesses that are not profiting, that are folding up? So that was when unemployment started also crippling. That's also another story. It's also a long story. So what did they do? They said, well, let's go borrowing. In 7.5 years, the debt of Nigeria, which was 13.7 trillion naira, both local and foreign debt of Nigeria, as at 2015, the Nigeria naira was being exchanged officially at 135 naira to $1. The black market, they were exchanging $1 to naira for 199 naira to $1. But the moment the entire economic and financial fabric of Nigeria started receiving this attack from these jihadists, naira started taking a great fall. It was like that. Everybody is waking every day to say, what is naira today? What is naira today? What is naira today? 500 DK, 600 DK, 800 D. Wala deo, this and that. You know why? When you go borrowing, my grandma say you go sorrowing. They kept saying Nigeria can still borrow. But when you are borrowing to steal, when you are borrowing to mismanage, listen to this. They go out to borrow, right? And say, oh, we want to build railway. Oh, how much are we going to build the railway? Oh, we're going to build the railway for $5 billion. But the same railway or the same rail line or the same rail system was built in another country. That same one you want to build, they built this, or even better one. They built it for half the price of the one you are budgeting. And they will say, well, that's how much the budget. Sure you get, after they party. Then they will go abroad. They will say, okay, borrow us this money. We want to use it to build rail. The Oyinbo will say, okay, this is the deal. We won't give you the money. We'll give you the expertise. Our people will build the rail. We will do this and that. So they'll make that deal. So the Oyinbo will bring their money. Nigeria will provide the land and the everything other thing that they will ask Nigeria to provide. No money. But in the Nigeria Senate, they are already budgeting. They'll say for the railway upgrade in Nigeria, we are going to need 190 billion naira. That's just the money for them. Sure you get? That's just for them. Remember, they've already approached people to come and borrow them to build railway. They've made a deal on how to pay that back. Take it from our money. Every money that we want to, take it from it. Remove it from our money, from the source. Just build it for us. But back in Nigeria, they are budgeting of what they want to build railway. So they will be writing the billion into that. And that billion, where would they get it from? They will also go out and say, we are approaching the EU to give us a loan for railway modernization in Nigeria. EU has agreed to give us $3 billion for railway, the $3 billion loan for railway modernization in Nigeria. And that's the double deal. So between 2015 and 2023, the debt of Nigeria jumped, ladies and gentlemen, from that 13.7 trillion naira to what it is today, nearly 80 trillion naira. From what they told us as $13.7 billion or $13 billion to what is now almost $120 billion as debts. All of this debt, they came with condition of naira devaluation, which simply means you will continue to work hard. The same job you are doing, the same work you are doing. Some of you believe that you are even better than some of your counterparts outside Nigeria. You are working so hard, intelligently and then smartly, as you will say. But when they pay you that money, the value of the money, when you put it beside the value of the same wage they pay your counterparts, people like yourself, in another place all over the world, and you put them aside, it breaks your heart. How much is your salary? Oh, well, they said they are going to start with 500,000 for me. Wow, that's very good, oh. And they're going to give me a car. Oh, that's amazing. That's a good job. 500K a month. Ah, Baba, you are lucky, oh. But in the economy that you are going to get that 500,000, that 500,000 naira, its value is already cut by 1/4. Divide 500,000 naira by, or 600,000 naira by 4. So now you are paid 600,000 naira, 600,000 naira that has the value of 150,000 naira. That is a mockery. And that is exactly what they have done to you. But somebody else is working somewhere and he's being paid. Listen to this, oh. That same expertise, I'm not talking about any casual job, oh. For example, you are an engineer. Oh, I'm an engineer, a senior engineer. I bet I don't know how many engineers actually get paid 500,000 naira in Nigeria. But I can tell you how many engineers that actually get paid if they convert what they are paid outside Nigeria to what is paid in Nigeria. They get paid millions. Let me give you an example. You have somebody who is working with the power station, for example. You're working with the power station in Nigeria, an engineer, and they are paying you 600,000 naira a month, and they give you a car. So which means that's a very good job, isn't it? But when you look at somebody who is also working the same job in the UK, different economy, okay? Same expertise, right? Same job, but different places. That same person is taking home over 4 grand a month. And now listen to this. He can afford to get himself a mortgage. He can afford to get himself the best car. He would have insurance working in that place. He will have other emoluments that actually are not part of his salary. Things that are always going to motivate him to give his best. But in Nigeria, there's so much to frustrate you. There's so much to discourage you. There's so much things there that will eventually tell you it is the economy they created for you. South Africa is in Africa. It's not outside Africa. Nigerians left Nigeria with their own expertise, working the same job in South Africa, but due to economy in this regard, So that's the failure I'm talking about. So they've done that to you. They've made sure, right, that what your worth is determined by them. And that is also determined by what they have done to your economy. If the economy is fine, if the naira is strong, and your 600,000 naira is actually 600,000 naira, seriously, it will be a different story right now. But you know what I'm talking about. So it's going to get worse. So they did that. Emefiole started printing money. Can you believe that? 22 trillion naira printed by the Central Bank of Nigeria. When crude oil no bring money enough, when your taxes no fit pay again, when they put all of that together and it's not enough, Emefiole started printing money for them to share so that they can pay salary, so that they can pay this or that, and they continue to borrow and continue to borrow. That is exactly what Thiefnubu is coming to give to you. So if you are worried for some reason, of course you should be worried. Listen, even if you don't understand politics before, I bet you should be understanding it now and how it affects you and how it can affect you. So your reaction is nice, it's better. And it's just that the criminals in Nigeria seems to have sworn an oath with the devil. They will never change. Now I'm going to take you to why they are worried. At first, it is the graduation of the Boko Haram I saw, where, I've told you this before. Terrorists in Nigeria are freed, while activists in Nigeria are jailed. Remember that, yeah? So these young people gathered in Abuja today. I will tell you their story in a moment. Don't go anywhere.
No mandate was stolen. No mandate was stolen. I said, no mandate was stolen. INEC performed their work. Free and fair. Credible elections happened in the country. No mandate was stolen. Bola Ahmed Tinubu is president-elect and he remains so. Kashim Shettima is vice president-elect and he remains so. Let us be patriotic again. The elections are over. The elections are still in process in court again. Please give Nigeria a chance to grow. Natives of Nigeria, of all tribes and of all race, of all brotherhood and of all concerns, and I am appealing in the name of Almighty God, Jesus Christ our Savior. Also, I appeal in the name of Allah to all Nigerians to give peace a chance. We cannot continue to be protesting on the street.
So like I said, they are the winner of election. And as you can see as well, this is what we have reduced our youth to. These guys are defending what is so precious to them. Their future is aligned to that. If by any means Thiefnubu's election is annulled, these are, and millions like them, are those who believe strongly that if they die for Thiefnubu, they have died a good death. Now that's a conviction that a lot of you will laugh at, a lot of you will kind of frown at as well. But it is also a reflection of what Nigeria is now. In a democracy, normally, this is normal. This is allowed. But what is not normal is that we know why this is happening. These are the winners. These are those who fought that propaganda and spread that propaganda war. They are those who did everything in their own little way to ensure that the rigging is cemented for their own belief that with Kolu, they stand a chance of a better future. Now, the problem is that they are worried that other people are also expressing their own disappointment and their own displeasure with what is going on. So they are worried that if these people are allowed to continue to reject Tinubu and continue to illegitimize him, what that means is that all of their effort, all of their hope, aspiration, and expectation, reward are not going to happen. So despite winning, they had to call for their fellow Nigerians to come out and defend the mandates. So the worry is that if people continue to protest and international communities continue to ignore Tinubu, because that's a worry for them, they believe they will deal with it, okay? So let me tell you something. One of the reasons why they are all out, okay? Before I take you back to them. Normally, sure you get. Thiefnubu and gang, they don't believe that anything or anybody can stop Tinubu from getting sworn in. I know a lot of you are following the old electoral what have you, this and that, bomber to bomber. But between me and you, sorry, I have to do this in front of you, okay? It's itching me. Sorry about that. Yeah? A lot of you who believe that Thiefnubu is never going to be that president, Abi, They won't swear him in. You know what you are relying on? I'll share that too. So I'll see if I'm right, okay? But on Thiefnubu's part, whatever you think, for this particular one, now only death will stop him from becoming a president. It's already done deal. They've started writing names. They've started pushing people up. Who is going to be your FCT minister? Who is going to be your defense minister? Who is going to be your chief of staff? They are already doing all of that now. And I'm serious. Nothing is concerning to them about the tribunal per se. But there is something also very much concerning, which makes them feel like if they don't respond, it may boomerang. And that is the people that believe that Thiefnubu is not only going to be stopped, it's also going to be arrested. Mahmoud will be arrested. And for what they have done, they will also end up in jail. There are people who believe strongly. Maybe that is kind of far-fetched. But let me tell you, the real thing, they don't want any surprises. Or in a way, they want to match it, according to them, madness for madness. And what is that? You see, that electoral act of 2022, is a big problem for what they have done for Kolu. In fact, from what I have seen, if Nigeria caught for real, even if they take half of what I have seen in, Thiefnubu will not even sit third. I am not asking you to believe me, okay? I'm just like facts from fiction. This is what they are trying to force as facts now, that Thiefnubu won. But we all know he didn't, okay? Their argument is that everybody rigs. So if he out-rigged them, what is the difference? Well, again, he couldn't even out-rig anyone. The fictitious numbers they put together for him, they don't match, okay? There are other arguments, so that I'm not a lawyer. I'll talk about them in a bit, what people are saying. However, that 2022 electoral act that some people are believing in, actually, we eventually, should I say, would invalidate a lot of the fictitious numbers they cook for Thiefnubu. If you see how they did all the cooking, a lot of you will be so ashamed of APC. I am waiting for when I know that everything is actually like in one place, and you can count on me. I'll bring all this evidence to you, loaded, uninterrupted. So they believe that once they ask the INEC to bring all of your beavers and the record, all of that together, it won't add up. And if it doesn't add up, with Obi bringing Thiefnubu's drug conviction in America, bringing other things like his falsification of his age, submitting forged documents, like on his education, his age, his birth certificate, and every other thing like that they are bringing up. This time around, according to your electoral act, Thiefnubu and Shetima, they should not even be in anywhere near any polling unit or any election at all without being supervised. That's how much they should not be seen around. But they are the front runner. They are the front rigger. But do you know something? I have read that electoral act too. In fact, some of you are referring to the Oshu case, the Beavers Wala and the rest of that. They are facty. And that is why Thiefnubu, when he is done with INEC, he decided to pick on who? The Chief Justice. So that he can have the judiciary that will eventually interpret. Now, there is a problem of interpretation. Again, apart from proving that he didn't win, and therefore he lacks legitimacy, there is an argument of Abuja. Is Abuja more important than the rest of Nigeria? Is Abuja vote more important than other stuff, eh? So somebody who was Attorney General of Nigeria at the time had something to say. Then Falana too, to add to all the confusion. So the point here now is that they just don't want to give room for any surprise. And with Obi, to continue to educate the people about how the court is doing and how the court is working, to continue to to put the searchlight on the judiciary, this time around, not believing anything that comes out of their mouth until they do something, is a threat. And that could pull a surprise. In fact, it's a surprise they don't want to see. Now, talking about Abuja, they say Abuja is more important or not important. I think that's where I'm going to or should I start from the people that are telling you to move on? Now, let's start from that before we go to the interpretation part. The one that is also causing a sort of ruckus. Yeah? The women in Nasarawa, they have been protesting the rigged election for the past 1 week, naked. However, today, the person who rigged them, the beneficiary of the rigging, their governor, banned protests in his states. Because of this. And people are like, you can ban it. You have no legitimacy to ban anything anymore. We didn't vote for you. We're still coming back to that interpretation, but let's go to Nasarawa. A quick one, if you don't mind.
Honorable Stella I. Oboshi. Just like I've just said, I appreciate God for the opportunity given to me to speak on behalf of the women that you have seen here. The mandate of PDP have been stolen in Nasarawa State by the INEC. The reason why I say by the INEC is because the INEC are Independent National Electoral Commission, and it is their duty to coordinate the program of the elections, and they have seized our mandate. It is David Martin Mbugadu that won the election, but they later announced a different person that is the winner of the election. That is why these women have turned out to show their concern And our outing is for a peaceful demonstration. We are not to quarrel, we are not to fight anybody. Our concern is with the INEC. They that have announced the election, we want them to revise back and give us back our mandate. Let them give to whom have won the election. Leadership comes from God. He gives to whom he wants and at the time he wants. And whoever is making an attempt to deprive the destiny of any other person, God will deprive that person's destiny. So any attempt of stopping Mbugadu from being the governor by the INEC, we want to tell the INEC rec and his people that God will surely give us back our victory. And God, they should know that whatever they are doing, God will surely touch their heart to give us back our victory. And in addition to that, the reason why we are so sad is because election that was conducted with the same beaver, with the same accreditation, at the same date, from the unit to the ward, from the ward to the local government, before that of the House of Assembly, should be announced before that of the gubernatorial. But to our surprise, election was conducted and that of the governor was announced before that of the House of Assembly. After 2 or 3 days, they said the election is inconclusive. Until we march to the INEC office to demand why is it that the two local government, the two wards, Gayam and Chiroma, should be the ward that will determine the 13 local government election. And why is it that that of the governor was announced and that of House of Assembly, they said inconclusive. Then automatically the election of the governor is being rigged. To our own base of knowledge, it is rigged. Until we march to them before they later said they want to cross-check. And it was just yesterday they announced the election. And most of the announcement they made was that the total accreditation, they used about 30,000 approximately that Gayam and Chiroma brought. But the constituency announcement yesterday, the figure is not up to that. Then why? This clearly showed to us that governorship election has been rigged. The woman...
It's been rigged, we know. We knew they would rig you. It's just about how much of it you can prevent. So that's them in Nasarawa telling their story. And it's the same story almost everywhere. Let me show you something. They say, you know, I've told you the story of Nasarawa, how they used to local government to rig the rest of the state. But this time it's not actually two local government, two wards in two local government, 2 wards. The vote from 2 wards in 2 local government is more than it's a long one, Abi. Now, if you don't understand how that works, these people made the report on what happened and how they rigged Thiefnubu in APC in one single local government. The original results, Obi won. But INEC and Wike, they cut off 70,000 votes from Labour Party in Rivers State. For one local government, 70,000 votes of Labour, they cut it off. Now imagine what happened in the remaining local government areas. This guy did a report. Please listen.
It's very, very clear that INEC refused to do what? Give us the information that the public desperately needed for democracy to strive in Nigeria.
As we don't hear waiting happen, the Labour Party for Obiakpo local government alone, based on the information we got from INEC's own server, meaning na INEC we carry am, go there, go put am now there we go from collect, we say make we show now that Labour Party got 77,436 votes, APC got 14,065 votes, and PDP got 4,569 votes. APC not even get only 15% for Obiakpo only. Labour Party get 80% and PDP get 5%. But what did INEC do? INEC gave APC 80,239. That is 95%. Can't reduce Labour Party own to 3,829. The question where we they ask, they say, INEC, now from where you get this thing? Because the thing where you be say you keep for your warehouse, where they call IRF Porter, they show us different thing. But today own self, be like say, you go surprise us more. Make I tell us something. The court don't talk say INEC electoral guidance is a law in itself. That law says that this result should be uploaded from the polling units.
Even with the talk right now, say with the song, don't show una say they never upload and finish. Say for River State, only River State, they still never upload almost 2,000. That's 1,065 polling units. Now they never upload.
These things wey we dey bring out within our media, that is our mainstream media. Why be say they no dey fit talk about these things wey we dey talk about? Why be say nobody dey answer the questions wey be say we dey carry comot for their domot?
I wan make you subscribe to this channel. I wan make.
Anyway, it's called rigmarole, Abi. And that's how they do it. Now, if you look, I told you, right? It is either INEC set Thiefnubu up. I don't understand. So when people told you that Thiefnubu won't be president, they are banking not just on the original result they have, they are also banking on even uploaded results. You know, INEC knows that once they announce the result, all of you will just go away. Yeah, everybody will just, oh, they don't declare winner, Joe. Let everybody just go. Election is over. But you see this Gen Z, disobedient and their fellows, right? They've taken it upon themselves too to continue to ruminate, to go through even what INEC uploaded. Omo, the number is not even adding up. It's not adding up. And that is why they want to make sure that Thiefnubu is sworn in. Okay? And he is called president. And all of you, even himself, will say, I know that we rigged the election, but I will fix it. I will do something and make sure that the election is not rigged again. Sure, you get. But he's already president. And he can, at that point, influence what will happen. Because that's exactly how he escaped Gani Faweyemi's Ama in 1999. Gani Faweyemi first sued him when he became the candidate of AD. Gani Faweyemi exposed him. Is fraud as a fraud, is a forged certificate, is make up or make believe life story. It was Gani Faweyemi. Then he won the election, and they still in court pursuing it and pursuing it. When he became governor and he got the immunity, it is one of the reasons why he was never convicted. It's one of the reasons why he escaped. You know what he did? The Lagos State House of Assembly that was supposed to probe all the evidence against this criminal, this drug dealer, they were already. They were already in his wallet. He was ready to do lots of money. They gave him a pass of a vote of confidence, not a vote of no confidence, a vote of confidence, and they defended him. And that's how he started surrounding himself with people of questionable characters. People that can't question his criminal past because they are criminals themselves. How do you go to Tinubu and say, sir, I want to know, is it true that you are a cocaine, you are a heroin, dealer at the social time? When you yourself is a convicted money launderer or fraudster in America. So won't you just be like, spread the call? You will defend him. That's how he started building people around him. So he's going to get that immunity. He's pushing it. Just 2 more months. 2 more months. Let's continue. Just 2 months. 2 months. Really? After that 2 months, I'll be president and everybody can then go on. We can drag the case forever until they are tired. Sure you get. And a lot of you are also relying on that. It's good. Some now said, say Abuja. In fact, hang on. Before I take you back to Abuja, okay? So as it is rigged, so people reacted like this. That's Abuja. So people are reacting. Of course, I agree. INEC didn't act alone. The people also helped INEC to complete the rigging. They are the electoral officers. They are the politicians with money, bribing people. A lot of you who work for the politicians, who work for political party, bribing electoral officers so that you could have your way. And you all made it happen. But it is the INEC, that the umpire, that ordinarily will conduct a free and fair one. And wherever there is any reported incident, what have you, there should never be any result announced. And if you don't have all the results, you shouldn't announce a winner. Is that not what an election should be? And that's where INEC became a compromise. And listen, we are in an era where, what do you call it? Propaganda flies everywhere. And once you come across them, they get into your head straight away. Before I continue with that, what do you call the brewing wahala? Did you know that APC, that have not learned anything, that you can use propaganda to rig election and get yourself into power? You will not be able to rule the same country with propaganda. And in fact, you won't be able to unite a country that you rigged yourself to power through propaganda and division and divisive rhetorics. When you talk down on people, they are expected to speak back. When you now get your propaganda to the point whereby people are being attacked because of where they come from, then you would expect people also to react. You know that over time, a lot of these Lagos Abobakus, they have tried to blackmail a lot of us. They were questioning why we don't have loyalty to a drug dealer, a drug and a money launderer, a criminal, political kleptomaniac, Thiefnubu, that as Yorubas, that even if we don't like him, that we should always support him. This kind of a slavish statement, they are not just annoying, they are insulting. But it's a pure blackmail. When people say, of course, nobody is good, nobody is bad, Thiefnubu is not that thing, but he's a Yoruba man, he must be supported. It is not just annoying, it is very, very insulting. But when they now go further to say, you are defending Igbos, you are defending Igbo against your own brother, instead of you to rise up and defend Yoruba. And their own defense of Yoruba is what? To be a bigot that wishes death upon the people they don't like. Not because they have anything against one another per se, but because their political criminal leader told them it is the right thing to prove that they are indeed Yorubas. The Igbos, they always support all their leaders. They always defend all of their own people. It's only you, Yorubas, that will always say, you think you are educated, Abi? You think you are woke, Abi? Every time, you'll be criticizing your leader, our leaders. You'll be doing this and that. That's a slave statement. Honestly, if people say that to my face, I may be moved to punch you, because it's like you insulting me to my face. But for the sake of my listeners, right, it is also a simple blackmail. There are no people in Nigeria today that actually takes their own political criminals to the cleaners all the time. Nobody does that like the Igbos. Nobody. And since last year, this APC, Egbekegbe, and their hired Oceans online, they've done everything, propaganda for propaganda, to make Obi, an Igbo man from Igbo land, who is contesting an election with a Yoruba man from a Yoruba land, and a Fulani man from Adamawa, another Hausa man from Kano. From last year, they have done everything to make it look like the Igbos have committed the unforgivable sin for even daring that they want to be president of Nigeria. And therefore, whatever they see, they should take it. Whatever they get, they should take it. But what they didn't know is that the people who support Obi or who are shouting Obi, 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 who are non-Igbos, they are more than Igbos that are supporting Obi. Don't let it shock you. Do you know why some of them are currently in danger too? They are not Igbos, oh. They are Yorubas. They are Usas. They are Fulanis. They are Ijos. You saw them everywhere. Yeah, they are everywhere. But the impression and the narrative to make it look like Obi is about Igbo is deliberate. And for those who are like Obi supporters who are Yorubas, do you know what they call them in Yoruba land? Omuale. By this minute number of miseducated Yorubas, by the Thiefnubu and gang. So, when they try to pop up Yoruba versus Igbo, you can see through the hypocrisy. You can see the hypocrisy through them. And you just be like, oh, so we are all Yoruba? But how come that some of us who don't look Yoruba enough to you, or who don't speak Yoruba enough to you, how come you think we deserve the same treatment? Because we are too soft. We should not be fighting for prosperity for Yoruba. We should not be fighting for advancement and safety of Yorubas, which is actually the primary responsibility of those who are propagating and turning you into monsters. Tribal monsters, ethnic monsters. You are poor. Poverty stares you on the face every now and then. And all they could dangle before you is ethnic and tribal and religious bigotry. So it was deliberate. And there's always gotcha moment they are always looking for. So they can come back and tell the Yorubas, look at this one. Oh, there is nobody in Nigeria, nobody, no particular region in Nigeria, trash talk their political leaders like the Igbos. If you think Obi is getting the support of, let's start, the Igbos, because he is Igbo, give them Okorocha. Give them Oplesses or Digba. I mean, give them Igbos that you know. Give them Devulumayi. Give them all these Igbos that are pro-Nigeria. And give Igbos and say, okay, go and bring us a Kweremadu. Go and bring us a Yinaya Baribe. Go and bring us Charles Soludo. Go and bring us this or that. The Igbos are always good and very good Nigerians. As long as they are not running to be president of Nigeria, they are good Igbos. There are Igbos who have accepted this. It is too audacious. How could an Igbo man say he wants to be president because some young people say they want to change government in Nigeria? Do you really want to ruin our chances? We have done everything all this while to make them trust us. How dare you to go and challenge them? There are Igbos who have accepted that. Where Yorubas are going to take offense. I don't like Thiefnubu. See, Maiyegun, as I am now, it's not because I like Thiefnubu, but what happened is that as a Yoruba, we need to respect our elders. You need to show some respect. Because how do you want the outsiders to see us? If you go out there and say all these things about you, I say, Esa, Emma Benusa, Shongolo Makpayin, Aralo Makpayin fun advice ten so yen. It's like, as a Yoruba, I should remember how other people will see us. So if I am actually exposing the criminals who are ruining the lives of my fellow Yorubas as well, and they're telling us to keep quiet, because if we speak out, it's going to hurt the political feelings of somebody, and therefore, for telling me that I should try and not be like, and not let the Igbos laugh at me, and not let the Hausas and Fulanis laugh at us, because I am not showing that I have respect. That's the conversation. Do you get that? The Igbos are not abusing their leaders. You, Maiyegun, every time. Hey, you are talking, and all of that stuff. As if those of us just talking. I wasn't just talking. Do you get that? So they mostly are not interested in Nigeria to start with. Somebody got them interested again. Or let's say, got them distracted. And that person is Obi. And he didn't do that to the Igbos alone. He did that to everybody in that country. It triggered a serious tribal, ethnic, and somehow the Lagos that was supposed to be the center of excellence became the capital of thuggery. Listen, center of thuggery. Say Lagos center of excellence. It is a center of thuggery. The mega city of thugs. They are that blight stain on we the Yorubas. And the whole world knows. The whole world knows. So when they started the propaganda of Iwuanyanwu, you've heard that Iwuanyanwu? Yeah, Dan Iwuanyanwu, I think. Dan Iwuanyanwu was at Charles Soludo's 1 year in office anniversary in Noka, Anambra State. So the old man was now kind of remembering or sort of talking about what happened in Lagos. And he said, we are not at war. The Igbos are not at war, or the Yorubas are not at war with the Igbos. In fact, the Yorubas are with us. Only the Yoruba rascals in Lagos who are doing everything in the name of one politician. I'll play you the video, but that's how I understood it. Yorubas are with us, except for the Yoruba political thugs. I call them thugs. He called them rascals. But in the political conversation in Nigeria, hey, you see how Iwuanyanwu say Yorubas are rascals. So hey, Yorubas are rascals. All of you Yorubas, all of you woke Yorubas, come and hear. Oh, an Igbo man say you are rascals. So aben shiri ni ani togini. Àwa mọ̀ ẹ̀yin tẹ́ jẹ́ rascals láàrin ẹ̀yin lórí burúkú abanilójújẹ́ abanilórúkọ jẹ́ yìí. You are proud of what you are doing, Abi, converting and weaponizing the poverty you have created in Yoruba land, and then the fear you have created. Your propaganda is working, but it's working on the older generation. Enjoy it. Whether Iwuanyanwu called all of you lórí burúkú political rascals, Maiyegun, I call you political thugs. She thugs, she rascal, were better. What you did in Lagos, it will never go away. That's why we say there are consequences for every action. You are not even stopping. You are still riling people up, encouraging people to attack Igbos by sending subtle messages. In a country you still want to rule, Commander-in-Chief of Nigeria, you want to rule Nigeria, President of Nigeria, and you are unleashing your propaganda machine, segregating people, weaponizing that, Abi, and turning around to say, we are supposed, Maiyegun, I didn't expect you to talk like this. Okay? I don't like Thiefnubu. I don't like anything Thiefnubu at all. But Iwuanyanwu should never call Yorubas rascals. And she is a rascal. Yeah. You are a rascal. If their propaganda is working on you, I understand. But no, they try to be like, say, you get sense. Who are you trying to pretend that you get sense with? Who are you trying to Maiyegun? You know, Maiyegun, I disagree with you on that. I said, I know, I am not here to convince you. But I am here to point this out so that in that your mind, when you are following the propaganda, just know that whether you like Thiefnubu or you don't like Thiefnubu, you are his agent. You are his dummy. It doesn't have to touch you. His propaganda will work on you. I'm a Yoruba man. Maiyegun, all these Igbo people, I know what the enshire sa. Esa enshire goni o. The real empowerment for Yoruba people that will make us look different, that will make us, right, a little bit appear better than the rest of Nigeria. That will make all of us, in fact, come out clothes and fight anybody where say any nonsense about our leaders in Yoruba land. Is when an average Yoruba is educated. It's when an average Yoruba in Yoruba land lead a standard, safe, prosperous life. And what do I mean by that? Opportunities. Not when we become Okada riders, Keke Marua rider, and then we become casual workers at Indian factories, Pakistani labor camps, Chinese, labor camps in our own land. But when it comes to us living that standard life, we don't deserve that. But when somebody, the criminals who put us there, feel threatened, then we can go and get our cutlass and our gun. Who are they? Where are they? They abuse our leader. How dare you say that about our I'm not provoking you, not be moral. Because the bottom line is that the people that put us in that disadvantaged position, right? They don't care about us. Okay? They don't. And when you are playing your propaganda, just know this. Your propaganda won't really work until the people you are selling them to, until they buy them and act on them like what you did in Lagos. What they did in Lagos is not done by Yoruba as a people. Remember this. Every one of you who supported them, you are not doing so because of Yoruba. None of you actually care about any Yoruba. It's not because you're going to get any better job in Yoruba land, or any better pay in Yoruba land, or we get any better hospitals in Yoruba land, or better medical care in Yoruba land, better education system in Yoruba land. Talk about safety. Talk about infrastructure. We don't have anything special. We are just Yoruba, living on old glory, while these criminals are enslaving the people of today, denying them of tomorrow. But I have to be so worried. Oh, I have to be so angry. Because somebody politically may lose. No, that's not how it works. Life doesn't work that way. So Iwuanyanwu was talking about what happened in Lagos. And I support the message 100% that all of you Olori Brukus that tarnish Yoruba image in Lagos, with all your tribal and then ethnic attacks on innocent people, even when you turn on your fellow Yorubas because they didn't speak Yoruba or they didn't look Yoruba enough, you shameless lots still want to turn to us and say, Iwuanyanwu insulted Yoruba. Ni kure o. But this is what Iwuanyanwu said. I will come back.
Lagos to know that on Wednesday, I called a meeting of Organizing Council of Elders worldwide, and we x-rayed the events in Lagos. And I want to tell you that we have people who attended the branches in America, in Canada, in Europe, in London, and Nigeria. We have resolved, and I want those from Lagos to go home and tell those in Lagos, we have resolved that never again can we allow anybody to take the life of any innocent Igbo person. All of us are going to fight the person. We are going to fight the person. Never again. We are in Nigeria and we have invested in Nigeria. Our investments are so much. We are not going to take the question of people telling us to go. We are not going anywhere. And I want to tell those in Lagos to realize that there is no war between us and Yorubas. Yorubas are they're just political rascals, and we are going to handle them. The elders have directed Secretary General of MaiyegunDiary, Emuche, to set up a commission of inquiry to find out things destroyed. People are going to pay. In Lagos to know.
The Yorubas are with us. We are not at war with Yorubas. What happened in Lagos? There are rascals. There are rascals. And some said that the video is doctored. It's like it's jumped and all that. Well, who cares? We heard him what he said. The Yorubas are with us. We are not at war with them. What happened in Lagos? There are rascals, and indeed, there are rascals. And you some will look at me and say, you this Maiyegun, you are this, you call me whatever you want to call me. You are going to live your life to realize this too. And you know something? It breaks heart so much that what you believe strongly, that's been a lie, if you live long enough, you live in that regret. And possibly a lot of people would have paid a lot of prices as well around you. And like I told you, the victims of yesterday, the survivors of yesterday are victims of today. You attacked people because of their political belief or because of where they come from. That's not Yoruba. That's un-Yoruba. That's rascal. And all of you, we now know, even in Yoruba land, you are not just a threat. Listen, you are not just threats to non-Yorubas. You are also threats to the real Yorubas as well. And guess what? We are going to fight back too. So you might have a lot to deal with than this. Nigeria will become a narco state the moment Kalu becomes your president. So get ready, okay? Sometimes last year, if you remember, Kalu as a presidential candidate, right? The news broke. NDLEA busts a house in Ikorodu and they discovered drug worth 198 billion naira. Billion, no, not million, no. $266 million worth of hard crack cocaine in Ikorodu. For all of us who have watched narco films, narco series, when you are going for drug busts, you know how special police would dress, with sophisticated weapons, with all this, what do they call that thing? That you can see night vision. That night vision that you can in the movie. They have this thing that everywhere will just look green, in the dark. You know that movie? You've seen some of them, and then when they get to the base before they get to the main production base, you have in the jungle, you would have seen a lot of people with guns, different machine guns, who are ready to defend the place. Then you'll be hearing bomb, go, go, go. Moving, ground floor, ground, move. Oh yeah, capture, surrender. Clear. They will get to some place, say clear. They'll get to that place, say clear. Everybody coming, clear. That was what I expected in Ikorodu when Nigeria had its first biggest drug busts. $266 million worth of drug just waiting for NDLEA in Ikorodu. NDLEA, sorry, I have news for you. We have a drug base here in Ikorodu, the biggest drug in Nigeria. This and that. Suddenly found his way to Nigeria, and when he got to Nigeria, he found his way to Lagos, and he happened to be a state where the former drug lord, convicted drug and money launderer in America, has been holding sway. And NDLEA was like, okay, we are on our way. Some of you are asking, I just thought I should bring it back. So if you want to understand what a narco state is going to be like and how the rest of the world are going to actually see Nigeria, maybe this will actually ring some level of bells. How did they do this? Where are those guys now? What happened to the drugs? You know what happened? Immediately after they bust and the news broke, guess what happened? Kalu visited this man. The one on the right is Buba Marwa. That is the man in charge of NDLEA. The one on the left is the convicted drug dealer in America who has now become the INEC president-select of Nigeria. He was a candidate here, okay? Then NDLEA bust a place in Lagos State. And a day after this man visited him, a day after Thiefnubu visited Marwa, NDLEA destroyed the entire cocaine, the entire drug. They said they destroyed evidence. End of story. Okay. Sorry if I didn't add this one. I want to add one small jara. Sorry to disappoint you. You are not about to watch drug bust too. Okay? You are about to watch drug arrest. I don't know. Sorry. It doesn't really matter, okay? Let's go back to it. Now the biggest drug bust in Nigeria be this. So look at the area.
Here with 1.855 tons of raw cocaine. We had some concealed or filled in these 10 buses and the others shipped in those drums. I'm sure you can see the drums over there. This is the highest singular seizure of cocaine in the history of this agency. What you have here comes to over $278 million, which is street value. If you convert that to Nigerian naira, you are talking of over 194 billion naira. And the men you find behind there, they are members of an international syndicate that the agency has been on their trail since 2018. And just lo and behold, in few days, by the grace of God, we were able to track them down to this building. This building, the man, please, I'm not talking to you. This building, it looks unoccupied, but then it's a warehouse for this international cartel. And we're glad that this has brought an end to the operation. That's the most you can take, except you want to.
Nigeria is so corrupt, which I regret the day I was born in this country. It's unfair. This is unfair now. This is unfair. Nigeria is.
Ah, God. Why do you brought me to this Nigeria? What is my sin? Kí lẹ ṣẹ̀ mi gangan? Kí ni ẹ̀ṣẹ̀ mi tó fi dá mi sí Nigeria yìí? Èkíní, èkejì, ẹ̀kẹta. Ah! Ó yẹ o.
The biggest drug bust in Nigeria happened in Ikorodu, and he was just waiting for them. Then Iragbiji El Chapo, Iragbiji El Chapo visited the head of the drug agency. At the meeting, whether coincident or no coincident, or maybe it's and all that, they suddenly, without any court or anything, NDLEA, they burnt all of that cocaine. They burnt everything. And they celebrated it. NDLEA destroyed 194 billion naira street worth of cocaine that it busted a week ago without any investigation. They said the investigation continues. You know what the Buhari idiots, what they had to say? All these unboot slaves, you know what they had to say? It's a good thing because this Nigeria is so corrupt. If he didn't burn the old cocaine now, they will give the cocaine back to the people. I said, okay. You don't think they've given the cocaine back to the people? No, I trust Marwa. If Marwa says they have burned it, they have burned it. No. Really? Yeah, I trust Marwa. Okay. I trust you. Sure you get. That is Nigeria. That's how they fight crime. By burying evidence or destroying evidence, then pretend that they are doing something to combat crime. No, they are not. That is how Nigeria is going to become the narco states. Somebody said, how did that much drug enter Nigeria? You did ask me. Okay, now you know how government works, Abi. Yeah, that's how government works. Okay? Without the blessing of your government, how do I mean by your government? A corrupt system that employs corrupt people to do corrupt things by smuggling drug into the country to make more money, that won't be out of play, would it? That's what Nigeria has become. And it is going to be same everywhere. Thiefnubu as your president, all he needs is just to tell somebody to do that. Oh yeah, you go and do this. Corruption is legalized under APC. Don't be deceived. Okay? Corruption is not being fought under APC. It's legalized. You just need to choose which side you want to pay your own tithe to. When you get your own cut or share from the proceeds of their corruption, it's up to you. Now, I am going to say something here. Look at this man. This is Richie Sunak. Richie is the Prime Minister of the United Kingdom. Although we didn't elect him, but he's the elected leader of his party, who is the ruling party as well, so which is the ruling party in the UK. By that arrangement, as leader of the Conservative, is the UK Prime Minister. Okay? Now, by the look you see here, and when I say UK, United Kingdom, who happened to be the former colonial master of where Richie's parents came from. Now, Richie, the son of immigrants, British, right? is the Prime Minister of the UK today because in a just society where you practice a system that is you call all-inclusive, the people like Richie, they know one thing: they are always welcome in the UK, even though they are British, born here and raised here, right? Now here, this is Richie Sunak, 47 or so, sorry, 45. Now here is Hamza Yusuf. Hamza Yusuf is 37 years old. I've met with him. This is the representative of my own district here in Glasgow. This is my own MP. Sure you get. So as my own MP, just today, right, Yusuf got elected as the leader of the Scottish ruling party, SNP, Scottish Nationalist Party. Now, Yusuf is also a son of an immigrant, second or so generation in Scotland. Now, Scotland is so traditional. For everybody who knows Scotland very well, very traditional. They value a lot about tradition. But when it comes to public administration, once they say you are British or you are Scottish, of course you are Scottish. There are red-haired, there are skin-haired, there are some racist idiots, miseducated, even educated, they're racist in the UK, including Scotland. But they have limitations. You know why? Because people who want an all-inclusive society, an egalitarian society, cosmopolitan city. Cosmopolitan means people come from everywhere to build it. But the real owners, the real indigenous people, it is to their own joy that they are also existing and respected in a just society where nobody has to say, look at this one, not even look like us. You get mine though. You get mine though. You won't be president for I don't know if some of you actually knows that there are some Indians who are Nigerians. Do you know? Maybe I should start from there for you to actually understand the xenophobic Nigeria, especially the xenophobic Yoruba nation that these rogues, miseducated and educated idiots are trying to birth in Nigeria. And why? We must never let that happen. Ever. The people who have narrow minds, I'm talking about short-sighted people. People who blame other people for their problems, but themselves. We should not let those narrow-minded people define us as a people. I live in an advanced society. One way they came there just now and said that they would deal with me in Scotland simply because of what I said about Thiefnubu. Nobody would deal with me anywhere. Nobody. Nobody. No papa. Nobody's papa can do anything. If you do anything to me, you'll be committing a crime. Okay? And if you do anything that harms me, seriously, you will ruin your life forever. I can guarantee you of that. And I don't have to belong to any kind of major family in the UK or be in anything, so to say. But as a resident here in the UK, I am protected by all this, by the same rights that even the Scottish people have. And when I speak, except I break law, nobody, not even your grandfather, your forefathers in Nigeria, disjointed, backward country, will be able to do anything to me. Like, I can say that 1 million times, confidently, without any blah, 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 blah. No. That's the society I live. That's the society you should endeavor to live. Not a narrow-minded, impoverished one, where everybody looks suspicious as the people who are doing you. You no get work, now people they do you. You no get money, now people they do you. Your life is miserable. Somebody is after you. You couldn't get a progress in your life. Some people are after you. If you are that kind of a person, of course, you will be easily sold. That the Igbos could be the reason why your taye efidaru finally. But what I'm trying to bring out here is this. And this message is also for some of you Ashiris who are also living abroad, sending these subtle, divisive rhetorics back to Nigeria. If you don't know that in that same your Nigeria, there are Pakistanis who are Nigerians. There are also British who are Nigerians. By the virtue of the fact that they were born there, they carry your green passport too. There are Indonesians. There are foreigners who are Nigerians too. And by the virtue of your disjointed, mismanaged country, do you know they have right to also run for office and vote and be voted for? Do you know that? Do you? Oh, you don't see many of them. Why would they come out and participate in war? You are not having elections in Nigeria. You are having war. So why would anybody want to be part of that? But by the virtue of them carrying your passport, by the virtue of being your citizen too, they can run for office anywhere. But they won't. Because they don't want somebody to start killing people that look like them. Simply because they thought they have a right to run. Sure you get? Now we have Richie. We have Yusuf. These two are descendants of immigrants. And by the virtue of their rights, they are leading the countries. They are leading Scotland. The one is leading in Scotland. The other is leading the entire UK. And it will be on record. And so far, so good. People are more interested in what they have to offer. But in Nigeria, the likes of Thiefnubu and gang, they would rather want you to pick up a wheelbarrow or turn to a terrorist so that they can do a graduation for you. I mean, terrorists are doing graduation in Nigeria, my people. Terrorists are doing this. 580 Boko Haram, repentant Boko Haram. Sorry, Richie is 42, by the way, not 45. I think I keep mixing that up. I wish he grows up faster. Anyway, 42. The guy is even 3 years older than me. Can you imagine? I am 2 years older than Yusuf. Can you believe that? And here, if I was born in the UK myself, probably I would have become, I mean, with this mentality, I probably would have become an MP in the Scottish Parliament. Sure you get? My son can become an MP in the UK now. My son can be whatever he wants to be, and nobody's going to say, sure you know be that Akinola, that Ijebu boy. You from Ijebu? You want to come and be Prime Minister in the UK? Never in your life. But in Nigeria, they are graduating, they are doing graduation for terrorists. They said in the last 18 months, 51,000 of these terrorists who have murdered people in Nigeria, and they gave them uniform. Okay, all of these too on a job, you know. All this is just to show that they are doing something. Once they pay the money, these boys, these boys won't see a dime. They won't see the money. The money goes straight to the hands of those who organize this. I will put them up for show, okay? This is what they do in Nigeria. They reward terrorists and they punish activists. So when election happens and people think they have a chance of redeeming themselves or fighting back, and they go out for an election and then they got rigged, and you want them to keep quiet and keep short, I think you have no idea of what you are actually doing, I would say. Anyway, here is Obasanjo. I'm taking you back to Anambra. Sorry. He was talking about the Igbos who helped him during his government. And he was told that he shouldn't trust them. Okay? And he was talking about Igbophobia. Remember I told you about Igbophobia? Yeah, it's been there for a very long time, but they've been kind of hiding it until APC came. And APC just couldn't take it. They just have to expose that Igbophobia in them, and at the same time, like a contagion, right? Spread it like a virus. Obasanjo is not a saint. Sure has something for him. But let's hear him first.
Location. Soon after I appointed him, somebody came to me and said, wow, you have ruined the economy of Nigeria. I say, how? He said, an Igbo woman, Minister of Finance, an Igbo man, Governor of Central Bank. Then you have really completed the task of running the economy of Nigeria. Now, I don't know why he said that, except for what side can call Igbophobia. And don't take that lightly. It remains, it persists. And I like what Chief Iwuanyanwu said. I believe on the 13th of January, 1970, Biafra died and was buried. Actually, in the house of my friend here, Chief Simon Okeke in Amici. Is that correct? But when you have the type of thing that was said to me, and the type of thing that you know is going on, what I call, as I have just called it, what do we do with it? I believe.
Break up the country. They are still living in denial. You will never expect Obasanjo to say anything good in support of the peaceful breakup of Nigeria. He participated in that war. He is a hero of that war. They call him hero. He accepted the surrendering Biafrans back to Nigeria. So he sees himself as integral part of Nigeria, and in fact, denying the obvious makes people like him to continue to remember that glorious day that they crowned themselves after perpetuating genocide. Do you understand? They committed genocide. They killed innocent people in order for them to force them to remain part of Nigeria so that we can all see this shege. And to this day, to them, is dead. Yeah, Biafra is dead. Biafra is dead. Biafra is dead and all that. Oh, really? How could Biafra dead? When Nigeria will not even admit what they did. When the perpetrators, the people who participated in that program, that genocide, they went on to become rulers of Nigeria. They were rewarded handsomely. While the country dwindle and continue to tilter and then a breakup. So they will never admit it. Not somebody like Obasanjo. But you see, Showore, as usual, he will never hold back when he's given that chance. What do you think, Showore? Obasanjo? Speaking up, come on.
Here, I was reading a headline. Obasanjo is saying that Igbophobia in Nigeria. They have never seen Nigeria. This is a guy who went to the east and shot people dead because they wanted Biafra. Obasanjo killed. He was one of the officers that obtained the surrender of Biafrans. They were asking for a nation. Obasanjo and others, Danjuma, Buhari, Babangida, they went to the east and killed people, Murtala, and killed people up to 3.5 million people. They did not even apologize for it. And some maybe 60 years later, you are saying that you suddenly found out that people hate Igbos. When you, in Nigeria's uniform, went and killed children, women, men, boys, who are of Igbo extraction.
But the way you describe it is a bit more grievous and
what is grievous? What is more grievous than war?
No, it might not be exactly the way you're pointing it. Yes. There are war scenarios, civil war scenarios that happened. There was a strife.
No, what I'm saying is that this is part of history. So you know why I brought the Obasanjo thing out? Because I was reading that I was really livid that he suddenly found out that there's Igbophobia. When the Nigerian army carried out a pogrom, carried out massacre of Igbos, and because he wants to play on the intelligence and emotions of Igbos, you will be clapping for him. Oh, Obasanjo is now our human rights defender. Oh, see, he's fighting for Igbo. I have never seen anybody amongst Nigerians that have probably killed more Igbos than Obasanjo. They kill people at the Civil War.
You don't have evidence to that.
What are you talking about? That you don't have evidence of soldiers killing people in Biafra?
But when you name someone as
Obasanjo was the third commando now.
Yeah.
He took over from Benjamin Adekunle. Go and read history. He wrote it even in his own books.
I mean, but
are you saying that they didn't kill people?
No,
they didn't kill Igbos during the Civil War?
I'm not rewriting history, but I'm saying pointing one individual and mentioning his name.
No, but it's not about mentioning. He has a title. He was a military man. He was in the military. They killed people. What do I need to tell you again? I'm just saying that Nigeria did not start falling apart. Here.
Sheung, they don't call you Sheung Egbegbe now. Because people are now saying that whenever Sheung sees fraudster Soto Bokeyamo, or he sees Dele Alakori, or he sees Ezibida Bayo Ononuga, what's that third one? Or for Food Kayode, Sheung will become a jelly pussycat. Now them go come they control his interview, but when it's with other people, Sheung will become, you know what, excuse me, sorry, and all of that stuff. Now then Sheung they talk. So the people are now calling him Sheung Egbegbe. She Showore lie. Of course. A lot of Igbos will see Obasanjo as their friend because he's on their side now. But Obasanjo has no friend. Obasanjo has himself. And over time, he contributed. He had two chances. Let me tell you the first one. After the program, after the Nigeria genocidal war, where over 5 million people were killed. And guess what? These 5 million people were not killed in the war front. Nobody say Nigerian soldiers, now them strong, that reach that. So every time you heard about they kill 5 million Igbos, nobody say Nigerian soldiers, now them strong, that reach to go and kill 5 million. The Igbos, without a similar weapon like Nigeria, they were able to hold Nigeria for 3 straight years until Nigeria implemented a blockade. A blockade that historically was reported as an idea of Awolowo. That blockade is, how could you be fighting war with people and allowing food to get to them? Just block everywhere and stop anybody who is trying to take any aid to them. You see, whenever there is war all over the world, there is always a place called the safe zone. That safe zone is for where civilians are expected to escape to. That area, the two sides fighting the war, they will not touch that area. Once you begin to touch that area, that's violation of the United Nations Convention, War Convention. Sure, you get civilians must be protected by all sides. So for 3 straight years, the Biafran held Nigeria, almighty Nigeria. They were being killed and they were slaughtering Nigerian soldiers too. Until that blockade was effected. Although by the time they were effected the blockade, Awolowo was no longer the finance commissioner, but it was still on record that he gave them that idea. So when people were unable to feed children, women who were supposed to be in safe zones, they started getting affected. They started getting the effect of that war, which means Nigeria introduced unconventional means to slaughter women and children, and they have no any kind of remorse till this day, right? To even apologize, pay restitution, and indeed show that there is no longer war between Nigerians and Igbo anymore. They couldn't do that. They can just rub it on you and say, we are all one. We are not fighting again. But do you know what happened? Obasanjo had a chance. In 1976, they have slaughtered the genocidist. At the time, they've just assassinated the genocidist, Muritala, the murderer. He was slaughtered like a common criminal in a traffic in Lagos by another soldier. He was killed like a common criminal that he was. A genocidist Muritala. That was how Obasanjo became the commander-in-chief of Nigeria and the president, so to say, like the head of state. Head of state. At that time, Obasanjo had a chance to set Nigeria on the path towards real unity, respect, and then prosperity, including safety. They said they wanted to conduct election. They conducted an election. Shagari, grade 2 teacher, became the favorite of Obasanjo's military ruling council. Shagari, who had nothing to offer, a corrupt Shagari, was brought in. Okay. Now, so the corruption started. Do you know that the first terrorist group in Nigeria, okay, let me put it this way. When Shagari came in, they started looting, like say, I'm going to go and read the history. You see, today, you can say, second Niger bridge, they have spent so billion. Abi, they are looting. The Lagos Ibadan Expressway, they have been repairing and repairing, they have been looting. During Shagari time, money were missing and no traces. Can you believe it? Like, a minister will come and say, we heard that 50 million naira is missing from your ministry. Is that true? And the minister will come out and say, yes, it is true. What happened to the money? We don't know. It just disappeared. That was the level of corruption of Shagari. Government were unable to pay salaries. Sure you get. And people started resorting into doing whatever they can just to survive. It all started though in 1979 when Obasanjo handed over to Shagari. The corruption was so bad that people were selling their children for food. Go and read the history. Shagari, they will tell you Shagari is one of the leaders of Nigeria, a criminal. Shagari children, they are throwing the name about everywhere. Shagari grandson, Shagari granddaughter. We are Shagari family, Abacha family, bunch of criminals. It was so bad that Nigeria got its first terrorist organization, Matatesin, in 1980. By then, it became so easy for a ragtag Islamic sect in Kano that usually just do, ragtag sect became so big because people were poor, hungry, and whoever could give them anything, they would do whatever they want them to do. That was how they started recruiting young northerners, brainwashing them, and using bows and arrows, cutlass and sword, carrying out terrorism. They were deadly. Nigeria was gone. Then they did the election in 1983. Having tasted blood, they rigged themselves in again. That was when Bokwari came and also became the first person in Nigeria history to overthrow a democratically elected government in Nigeria. But 30 years after that, 2015, the same Nigeria rewarded Bokwari with a democratic country to come and be the president. So Nigeria is impossible, unreal. The heroes past that they call heroes. These are a bunch of criminals. Go and read your history. If you come across any of them. You don't have respect for elders, Maiyegun. That's why I don't like you. Who are you saying that? Respect our heroes past. Your criminals past. They are criminals. They are not anybody's heroes. Nigeria has no hero in your political criminal leaders, past and present, dead or alive. Tell yourself this truth. Once you begin to live that truth, it will be easier for you to confront it and say, this is wrong. Okay, it is wrong then. I'm not going to repeat it. Those who fail to learn from history are bound to repeat it. And guess what? It's always the bad side of that history that you fail to learn from. They always replay itself. Biafra is dead. Biafra is dead. In whose mouth? The people that killed 5 million Biafrans? Just to turn around 50 years later to say Biafra is dead. Biafra is dead. Meanwhile, the things that led to Biafra or the Biafra war, they are even more prevalent today. They even exist more today than they were back then. How then do you just turn around and say, let us be united, let us come together for the sake of unity? And come on. I mean, let's start from telling ourselves the truth, though. I'll take you back to that Abuja, where the Thiefnubu people, they haven't learned anything. And like I told you that they have mostly relocated to Abuja, waiting for May 29 before they will unleash the real terror. And they are living everywhere, every abandoned building in Abuja right now. Go there with your phone. You will see APC members there. You will see some of them from Lagos. Go Abuja now. Uncompleted building there, you can see. Go some of those places. You will see them there. Now then win election. They are squatters in Abuja, waiting for their Lord and Savior to come in. Go to Abuja, see this.
We are not here to counter any protest. We are simply here to cut down to inauguration. This is the 53rd day before the D-Day. So this party, this enjoyment, this countdown will continue from now till the D-Day by the grace of God. We know that some people are grumbling. They say they are not happy with the outcome of the result. We are not saying they should be happy by force. We are simply telling them to follow the path of honor. The path of honor is the path that we describe by the Constitution if we are not happy. We are not
I told you. Shebi, you think say Bokuari is sort of a tribal or ethnic jingoist. Abi? Una go see film for Abuja. Here you get everywhere for inside that you go see film. You will see why Lagosians are hoping that someday, one day, they will have that strength enough to get rid of Kolu and his thugs. They have old women who are thugs. They have old men who are thugs. They have young men and women who are thugs. All of them, they are different categories of thugs. I want ya be, I want mama be, I want baba be. They are relocating to Abuja. When I go witness the real Agbero live. But because it is Nigeria, I will be here to report the old clashes. The one that I'm not really happy about is this. Still talking about Nigeria. Look at this young boy. This young boy is Kamsi. Okay? And if I take this cover off and you look below his image, you will see the Nigerian security brutalizing a boy, harassing a boy, and in fact, threatening a young boy with a gun. His mom was beaten. His dad, or somebody that looks like an elderly man, was also beaten when these guys from Nigeria came. Nigerian security came for this boy. And do you know what his offense is? Kamsi. He was seen in a video where he was demanding for the release of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, the leader of the indigenous people of Biafra, IPOB. A young boy, this young boy can't be probably more than a 12, or 13, or less, right? The Nigerian security force in Eastern Nigeria. Now, this is just an example of what they are doing to the people of Eastern Nigeria right now. They've been doing that for the past 7 years. A lot have been killed. A lot have been, made disappear. I am talking about an existential state-sponsored profiling. All their crime is because they are Igbos. A young boy did a video, and they sent the military and this civil defense and their men with guns to go and kidnap him. So they took him. His parents have no idea where he is now. The people from his community have no clue where they have kept him. A young boy facing this kind of harsh life, a young man that is now going to know that the police, the military, the security agents generally in Nigeria, they are not there to protect him as a child. He is going to see them as the potential death lurking around him, and would work to make sure he doesn't grow old, to fulfill his own dream and potential. Guess what his crime is? Because he's Igbo. They don't want us to say that. Why would you say that? Don't say that. Do you know what he did? What could a little boy do? I don't want to share that video with you. You will be hungered. You will be raging. And it is actually probably even the softest you're going to see of all the atrocities these guys are committing. If Nigeria can't be together, which we know it can't we go our separate ways? Can't we have these charts? Can't we be humans and treat ourselves as humans? There's just so many questions, right? Things that breaks hearts. Things that tells you that what Maiyegun is saying is true. If you are alive today, you are a survivor. But guess what? Those who didn't make it yesterday, they are victims. You made it, right? That makes you a potential victim as well. And being a potential victim, the survivors of yesterday, you can be the victim of today. And if you survive today, you may not survive tomorrow. Until it gets to your turn. Don't pretend that this is not happening. They are happening. And people like us won't stop talking about it. I'll leave you to your conscience. And I'm going to say good night to all of you. So if you are still here, before you go, kindly remember something. If for some reason an Igbo man is elected the governor of Ekiti, a Yoruba man is elected the governor of Sokoto, an Hausa man has just been elected as the governor of Anambra, just like what you have seen everywhere. Maybe then you can say you have a country. It's not going to happen. Not because it's not good, but because the foundation, the faulty foundation that doesn't give room for nation building or anything, we continue to say, if an Igbo man, what is Igbo Ronu? Sorry, give me, what is Igbo Ronu in Igbo? Igbo think. What do you say? Igbo think, oh. Igbo bu Igbo, or what? Igbo think, oh. Yoruba Ronu, Yoruba think, oh. I don't know what is Hausa Ronu or Fulani Ronu. If for any reason, this happened in Nigeria or in Lagos, everywhere right now, what you are going to be seeing is, Yoruba Ronu o, Yoruba Ronu o, Yoruba Ronu o, Igbo bu Igbo, or what have you? Okay, sorry, somebody didn't type that right. Tell me that's right. Chich, what's that? Chicheji? No, that doesn't sound right. Anyway, thank you for your time. And please, be good, be nice, be human, be honest, and be sincere. It won't kill you. It may actually save you. Being honest about what you see. Do not let all this their propaganda get into your head. At the end of the day, what you're actually doing is that you are helping them or sustaining their vile and hateful industry. Please be honest. Be human. Igbo che chiche. I don't know if I pronounce that. Igbo che chiche. Igbo chiche. I'm sorry. Chie chiche. Chie chiche. Igbo chie chiche. Igbo chie chiche. It doesn't matter. Before I start speaking nonsense, because I might actually already be speaking nonsense. But you get what I mean? If that should happen in Igbo land, you go down they shout, Undi Igbo chenu uche o. Undi Igbo chenu uche o, think o. If a Fulani man become governor of Enugu or an Igbo man become governor of Lagos, Yoruba Ronu. But none of this Ronu or no Ronu has anything to do with Yoruba, Igbo, if you think it very well. If they care about us, we shouldn't be fighting ourselves based on how much of eagerness we have to kill ourselves. We should actually be having a healthy competition. Nigeria won't give us that. And we shouldn't settle for less as well. Don't lie to yourself. Don't let their propaganda get into your head. You get why. Thank you and good night.
Maiyegun làwa mọ̀ làmọ̀ tó dòdòdò. Maiyegun Diary Nayibi #1. Maiyegun làwa mọ̀ làmọ̀ tó dòdòdò. Maiyegun Diary Nayibi #1. Maiyegun ti dé o ọ̀rẹ́ ará ìlú. Maiyegun Diary Nayibi #1. Lórí Facebook, lórí YouTube. Maiyegun Diary Nayibi #1. Gbogbo bó ṣe ń lọ ni Maiyegun já wa sí. Maiyegun Diary Nayibi #1. Àṣírí ọ̀jẹ̀lú kì í bò níbẹ̀ o. Maiyegun Diary Nayibi #1. Bó bá ṣe eré àní Maiyegun máa wí. Maiyegun Diary Nayibi #1. Ó sì tún ṣe eré wàá gbọ́ níbẹ̀ o. Maiyegun Diary Nayibi #1. Maiyegun Diary Politico. Maiyegun Diary Nayibi #1. Godfatherism kò sí lọ́rọ̀ Maiyegun. Maiyegun Diary Nayibi #1. Ẹ farabalẹ̀ sẹ́ o kẹgbọ́rọ̀ lẹ́nu o. Maiyegun Diary Nayibi #1. Àní Maiyegun làwa mọ̀ tó dòdòdò. Maiyegun Diary Nayibi #1. ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀ súnra kì
Maiyegun ti dé.
àní ẹ̀ súnra kì
Maiyegun ti dé.
lórí Facebook
Maiyegun ti dé.
àní ẹ̀ súnra kì
Maiyegun ti dé.
lórí YouTube
Maiyegun ti dé.
àní ẹ̀ súnra kì
Maiyegun ti dé.
wọ́n bàbá gbé wúrẹ́
Maiyegun máa wí.
àní ẹ̀ súnra kì
Maiyegun ti dé.
ijó ìgbádìyẹ
Maiyegun máa wí.
àní ẹ̀ súnra kì
Maiyegun ti dé.
pẹ̀sìdó bá rúfin o
Maiyegun máa wí.
àní ẹ̀ súnra kì
Maiyegun ti dé.
kí gómìnà kówó jẹ
Maiyegun máa wí.
àní ẹ̀ súnra kì
Maiyegun ti dé.
ọlọ́pàá tí ń darí bá
Maiyegun máa wí.
àní ẹ̀ súnra kì
Maiyegun ti dé.
aṣòfin tí ń rúfin o
Maiyegun máa wí.
àní ẹ̀ súnra kì
Maiyegun ti dé.
òkúra olóṣèlú
Maiyegun máa wí.
àní ẹ̀ súnra kì
Maiyegun ti dé.
ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀ súnra kì
Maiyegun ti dé.
àní ẹ̀ súnra kì
Maiyegun ti dé.
Maiyegun ti dé gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀ súnra kì Maiyegun ti dé gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀ súnra kì ṣùgbọ́n ní bá ti ṣe èyí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe ọmọ bá dèrò ní fi wọ́n níran o.
Maiyegun ti dé gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀ súnra kì. Maiyegun ti dé gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀ súnra kì. ṣùgbọ́n ní bá ti ṣe yìí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe ọmọ bá dẹ́rọ̀ ò ní fi wọ́n níran.
wọ́n fowó bẹ́ẹ̀ o Maiyegun ó sọ pé wọ́n ò bẹ́ẹ̀ wọ́n fowó bẹ́ẹ̀ Maiyegun ó sọ pé wọ́n ò bẹ́ẹ̀ oníkan ṣáàtì ṣe yìí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe fáwọn ará ìlú tó gbé wọn débẹ̀ o àyè.
Maiyegun ti dé gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀ súnra kì. Maiyegun ti dé gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀ súnra kì. ṣùgbọ́n ní má ti ṣe yìí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe ọmọ bá dẹ́rọ̀ ò ní fi wọ́n níran.
ha kì máa yí ṣe eré ọ̀rọ̀ yìí kì í ṣe ẹ̀fẹ̀ kì máa yí ṣe eré ọ̀rọ̀ yìí kì í ṣe ẹ̀fẹ̀ ẹni bá ti lè lẹ́bọ̀ lẹ́rù o ọmọ bá dèrò kàṣà ìtú wọn síta.
Maiyegun ti dé gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀ súnra kì. Maiyegun ti dé gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀ súnra kì. ṣùgbọ́n ní bá ti ṣe yìí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe ọmọ bá dẹ́rọ̀ ò ní fi wọ́n níran.
tẹnitẹni ọmọ Maiyegun ọ̀rẹ́ ara ìlú mọ̀mọ́ ni mo fọlọ́hún sọ ẹ̀ bá kìlẹ́bù lóòótọ́ olódodo ìlú ọ̀tá ìlú mọ̀mọ́ ni ìwọ ṣá máa ń ṣọ́ra kò sì mọ́ bẹ̀rù bọ́tà ń lè rí bóníṣègùn lé káwọn mọ̀mọ́ fi ṣera wọn ni ó ti dẹrùn tí wọn ò gbọ́dọ̀ sì mọ́ bẹ̀. èèpo ọ̀bọ lọmọ bá dérò tàjẹ́ ò gbọ́dọ̀ jẹ́ ó ti dọba lórí àbínú ẹni kò sì mọ́ bùyà àìsíwọ́lu ní ẹnìkẹ́ ìgbódì ẹyin lábàrá o ó kó ẹni tó bá dán o àkàmù. Maiyegun ti dé gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀ túnra kì. Maiyegun ti dé gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀ túnra kì o ẹni bá ti ṣe yìí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe ọmọ bá dèrò òní fi wọ́n níran o.
Maiyegun ti dé gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀ súnra kì. Maiyegun ti dé gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀ súnra kì. ṣùgbọ́n ní bá ti ṣe yìí.